Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to another episode of the Most Offensive Podcast. I'm Slimmy V, and today I am going to give you my take on Derrick Jackson and his wife and his confession and him coming out and explaining himself. Okay, I'm going to admit I see this story trending. I'm not going to lie and pretend that I know who Derrick Jackson is. I don't know who he is. I've never heard any of his stuff. So this is pretty much new to me. What's not new to me is um, famous or popular individuals that have preached against cheating or whatever it may be comes to turn that they are doing what they preach against. Now, I'm here to say this. We're going to listen to a little bit of it. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I am going to post this full video in the description so you can watch the whole confession for yourself. It's really only 7 minutes and 36 seconds long, so you can watch that for yourself. But what I'm here to do is just to kind of analyze a little bit of what he's saying, put it into context, try to read his mind, and give my take on it. But before I do, please hit the like button. Okay, show your support. Hit that subscribe button. Share this video. Now, let's rock. Roll that video.
Guys, Derrick Jackson here, and today I am joined by my lovely wife, Danaea, and we just wanted to address a couple of things. We understand that some of you may have already heard, maybe not, that this chapter of our marriage is one that was preceded by a marriage that I completely failed. And I would say it just started around August, maybe September of last year. But, a lot has been said already about what was the cause and all that other stuff. Some of it is true, some of it is completely false. But the truth is, and I'm saying it here now, is that Derrick Jackson was involved with other women outside the marriage. And by involved, I want to be clear, I'm not talking about just casually kicking it, maybe a lunch or something like that. I'm talking about as serious as sex, to sexual flirtation and meeting up and that kind of thing. And some things that otherwise may be considered okay by some in terms of like just chatting or checking on people or being checked on by people that I've had a previous encounter with. But without my wife's knowledge of it and with us having a sexual history, all of it falls under the umbrella of inappropriate, cheating, affair, stepping out, definitely not in alignment with the vows that I took, and definitely not in alignment with the biblical standard of what it means to be faithful, which is the standard that I'm going by now. Now, I'm saying this publicly, not because I'm, married to you guys. First and foremost, I'm accountable to God. Then I have to be accountable to my wife, in which we've already had this conversation. I've already told her literally everything. I've given her basically a roll call list. If I've said hello to a woman in the last 12 years of me knowing her, she knows about it. But now that it's been made so public, it's important that I first off let you guys know I do not stand by those actions. I don't want to encourage anybody to do that. And then secondly, I know that I cannot build a platform preaching certain things, preaching against certain things, and then in my real life live contrary to that for any amount of time or any length of time to any extent and think that I can't be held accountable. The same way that I preach, men and women in this situation need to face consequences of their actions, deserve to be held accountable. Guess what? Derrick Jackson's no exemption. He's not exempt from that. I'm also not a victim. Nobody made me do this. She didn't make me or push me to do it. The next person didn't make me. No friend influenced me. It don't matter how I was raised and what trauma, whatever. Look, I made decisions. I made a series of decisions that I got to account for. There's no excuse or justification. I've already made that bet and have had to lie in it. And now we're finally getting on to the other side personally in our own healing, in our own marital oneness. And now this is being made public to you guys. So we're bringing that forth to you guys to let you know where we're at with that. But did you want to say anything?
All right. Let me give you my take on this situation. Okay. Apparently, I guess he's a preacher or a pastor, a minister, and he has a large platform. And usually, when your platform is as big as his may be, again, I don't watch his stuff. I don't know who he is. Um, but if he is a minister and he has a big platform, and for him to be on social media airing out the dirty laundry, his platform must be really big. So, with that being said, when you do have a big platform, you have far to fall. You have a large responsibility to sort of practice what you preach. Although I am not holding him responsible for that, because I don't believe that anyone is above God or is on par with God. What do I mean by that? What I mean is, many people who follow certain people, whether they may be in ministry, whether they may be your YouTuber, you never make them a god. In it is the first commandment actually in scriptures, and say, thou shalt not make engraven images that is on par with God or equal to God. He is not an image that you uphold. I believe he could teach you, yo, do not be unfaithful. This is what you're going to go through. You're going to go through pain. You're going to lose every single thing. You're going to lose your woman. You're going to lose your family if you continue to go in that route. I believe he could do that. Okay? Why? Because I think we should be able to teach, right? It's good to follow what you teach. It is the best to follow what you teach. But because there are consequences, like he's facing, he could lose a lot of followers. And that's part of the consequence, right? So he is a living and breathing, how should I put this? He is living and breathing the reason as to why you should follow what he was teaching and not follow what he actually was doing. Okay, there is a saying, do as I say, not as I do. You cannot make anybody a god. You cannot make Donald Trump a god. You cannot make Joe Biden a god. You cannot make Derrick Jackson a god. You lost faith in who he was because you thought he was perfect. The dude is not Jesus. Okay? Look at Governor Cuomo. Governor Cuomo is not coming out in front of the camera and explaining to you, look, I've done some wrong. I've done this. I shouldn't have done that. This dude came out with his wife on the couch, holding their hands, looking you in the eyes. Right? Now, hey, he is owning up to it. Like, what more can I say? If he wasn't owning up to it, maybe it would have been a different video. You know, but he is coming out and just airing out every single thing. Now, I don't know, is it because he got caught? Right? You could speculate, maybe he got caught. Right? And before other things came out, let me come out and air this laundry out before they do it. Right? Is it because I'm losing followers? Is it because I'm losing money? Let me come out and do this. Or, now that the truth is out, I could go viral doing this. Sort of kind of like Jay-Z and Beyonce did when Jay-Z admitting to be unfaithful and having sexual relations outside of his marriage with Beyonce, and he caked off of it. Beyonce caked off of it. Is he doing the same thing? You know, this is America. We live in a capitalist society, and you're allowed to cake off whatever situation. Before Oprah Winfrey, because she would come and cake off of it, right? People like myself that's doing YouTube videos on this, right? I'm not making anything anyway. You know, I just like kind of examining how people talk. I like looking at why people do certain things. I like analyzing the psychological decision that people make and what's behind it. So I'm interested in the way people think. Why did he do what he did? What pushed him to do that? Was it something deeper than what we knowing? Does she, her name is Danae, does she knows why he did that? Like we need to get to the bottom of these type of things. But this is life after cheating. Or how would I say, marriage life after cheating. So this is something that you could speculate on. There's a lot of ministers with big platforms that have been through this. There was this black minister, I forgot his name, but he had done some stuff with boys, came out, confessed, because I think the boys called him out, and I think he had died. I think many of you who follow these things kind of know who I'm talking about, right? But again, my props to him is he's big enough to come out and admit that he was wrong. He admit that he made a mistake. He is accountable first to God, second to his wife, third to his followers, because he believed as a minister who preaches against these things, he is also to be held accountable and be held responsible for his decisions that he has made. Okay? Hey, it's not a cool thing, especially if you got a good woman and she's doing right by you, and for you to go out and do all of this, that's kind of crazy. Now, if she's not doing right or whatever, now that's the other side, right? If she's not doing right and there were certain things that she has done during the marriage that kind of push you to do that, although it doesn't justify it, right? We understand why you was pushed to that, right? So there are deep things that you can discuss. There are so many levels to this. Hold on, let me just, like, she did speak her part. I'll let you go and click that link and listen to that yourself. But that's my take. My take, look, he looks sincere. He looked like he is at peace. When you hear her part, she looked like she's at peace. Now, here's what the mainstream media would do is they would kind of throw things in there to kind of further divide them. At the end of the day, they are a black couple. Young, good-looking couple. And I would say, work through it. If y'all love each other and y'all want to do this marriage thing, work through it. Marriage is not easy. Let me tell you something about marriage, right? You got two different people who grew up in two different homes, who have two different cultures, two different backgrounds, who are willing to come together as one and make it work. Think about that. That is not an easy thing. That is like the most difficult thing in the world to do, and I commend them for giving it a shot, making it work. I commend them for that. Mainstream media out there, they're going to cast judgment. They're going to throw stones. And those stones might be coming back. But you got to look at how sincere he was. Many people say he is narcissistic. Right? Again, I don't know him. He may very well be narcissistic. If he is, and then it is what it is. But from what I see, my initial reaction is, right, I can't pass judgment on this because that's his and her life. Again, he chose to make that decision to go outside of his marriage and have sexual relationship with other women. Number two, she chose to accept them back into the marriage. So whatever happens, she's accepting it. If she knows in her heart who he is, and she decides to accept him for no matter what, there's nothing anyone should say to her about it. Leave them alone. All right? Because right now she's making her bed and lying in it. She's now accepting this. She has now fully forgiven him. Okay? Sort of like Hillary Clinton with Bill Clinton. She forgave him. Maybe she wanted to run for president. Maybe it's a good look. Oh wow, you're a strong woman. You did this, you did that. I don't know what it is, right? Or even with Kobe Bryant and his beautiful wife, you know, he had stepped out and did things that he wasn't supposed to do. She accepted him back. She forgave him, and yo, they made it work. You know, Jay-Z and Beyonce, another one. You know, so there is life in marriage after cheating. There is life. Maybe people are making too much of a big thing about it. Is it something to talk about? Yeah, it's something to talk about. Is it the biggest thing in the world? Not really, because it's their life. It's big within their life. Okay? He is preaching the right thing. Now, I don't think any preacher should go out and be like, hey, I might not hold these teachings in my own, so go out there and cheat. I don't think that's how it works. I don't think it works like that. So you got a platform. Look, man, you want to preach righteousness, okay? You do want to live it, but you do want to preach it. But look what happened. It damaged, it broke them apart. Somewhere in her heart, she will never forget it. And that's something he has to live with. But preaching it, even if you're on that platform, I think it's a good, preach righteousness, preach goodness, preach that, the righteousness that you should do in a marriage. That is a good thing. Okay? Him coming out, owning up to it because of his big platform, I think what every preacher should come out and say, look, dog, I'm not God, but according to the Bible and these teachings, these are how we should live. And if we go against that, we're going to have trouble. Look at me. I'm having trouble, right? Right? So he is a prime example of what trouble is. Look what Kobe Bryant had to go through. He had to go through court and face all this trouble. Bill Clinton was impeached because he lied, So look at all these things that happen. Trouble does follow you when you go against the word of God, basically. All right? So that's my take on this dude. Look, people make mistakes. It happened, right? You could discuss it in a way to just discuss it, but not in a judgmental way. But anyway, that's my take. If you are offended, that's not my problem. Now, I am Slimmy V, and this is the most offensive podcast ever. God bless, stress less, and let Yahweh give you rest. I'm out. Peace.